Hello everyone and welcome back to the final of the Mad Cat Chariot series editions. Here we are with the Hotel, and by now I assume everybody knows what the H stands for. With the clan configurations, it stands for heavy, because every single mech had to have a heavy laser variant at some point. This one is similar-ish in its streamlined style as the Echo, in that it has two heavy large instead of ER larges, and the ATM-9s are now LRM-20s. The Light Tiger is replaced with an ER small, and outside of that, it's still friggin' hot. It has a very long recycle time on its weapons, but its damage potential is incredibly high. So, yeah, I still like it because of its ability to allow you to focus on just getting the job done, doing the damage, and blowing limbs off stuff and getting kills. And it's fun, but it definitely struggles with the heavy larges and the long cycle time and incredibly high heat that's produced by them. The ER small is your only backup weapon once you do start hitting that heat level, and let's face it, a single ER small is not going to do you any good, as we know within the sort of realms of Battletech's larger universe. ER smalls would be used for anti-infantry work or anti-power armor, that kind of thing, or maybe attacking light vehicles, but very rarely would it ever be used to knock out a mech or destroy a part. Still, in MechWarrior Online, it's your best bet after overheating with that and when something's very close to you. The LRM-20s have a pretty generous amount of ammunition, to be fair, because 75 ton, clan tech, everything's a lot lighter, so you can still get a decent number of shots out of them. And with the LRM rework that PGI did not long ago, they're a lot more effective now in that kind of mid-plane sort of angle, not having to rely so much on the steep angle shots anymore, although that's what I'm doing at this early stage of the fight. When you do get line of sight on something, you can do a lot more damage with faulty missiles than you used to be able to, so that's quite good. As I said, the streamlined nature of the setup means that you can focus more on the fight rather than having to worry about all the different ranges you're going to be fighting at. I'd recommend it. There's not many of the H versions I'm really over the moon with. This is kind of the same, but the advantages of the Timberwolf are just there. Its speed and resilience to damage is what makes it sort of overcomes a lot of these issues, because if you do get in a pinch, it can move quick to get out of the way, it can reposition fast enough, and it's got the armor to be able to survive a few hits while it's repositioning. It's just a tough, solid mech overall. So yeah, it's generally a good platform to actually start out as a base for playing around with clan tech, to be honest. If you were going over to buying your first clan mech, I would always recommend a Timberwolf, because you're at a sweet spot for damage potential, a sweet spot for configuration options. You've got a lot of different weapons to play around with, a lot of different omnipods to play around with, so you can make a build that suits your playstyle. You've got, as I said, the speed, you've got the ability to take hits as well. So yeah, the Mad Cat is a really good starting platform for anyone who wants to have a go of clan stuff. And it works in many different setups, in the sense of being having a very sort of narrow focused build that, say, is focused on streak missiles, wanted to have something that was just pulse lasers, you wanted to do something that was heavy on its ballistics, whatever you want to do, you can do that with this build. With the omnipods available, I think it's probably, hands down, I would hazard to say it's probably the best clan mech that's ever been made in Battletech. It has that golden status for a reason. So yeah, not much else to really say about it. It's always frustrating that there's not really any kind of lore background for a lot of these things. I'm sure that there's was built a Wolf Clan site, Alpha, Beta, fuckwit genetic tank baby section 5, but there's not really any kind of information or interesting reason for why it was built. It's just that the clan's got new tech and they built that, and here's some configurations. It's like, okay. It's really frustrating that there isn't, like, this was first developed and deployed by, like, Clan Hell's Horses when they decided to have a fight with Clan Ghost Bear by the Takasha Mech Works, because somebody stole, like, another MechWarrior sandwich and there was an honor duel over it or something. Yeah, there's no information like that. It's just kind of like, here's some new builds for tabletop. I think they got a little bit lazy at some points, to be honest. If you sort of dive into it, a lot of variants just kind of exist. Whereas the Innisphere ones is usually a reason. There was during the War of 3039, there's a refit, and that's the reason this exists. And there's a very small number of them because they were a field refit and they were never really meant for mass production. So you would get a little bit of history there, a little bit of insight into why certain things exist. But yeah, it didn't really happen as much with the clans. And funnily enough, this represents the last of the petty cat. No, it represents the last of the clan 75 tons, which means next time we go to the clans, we'll be onto the assault mechs. Ever so close to the end of the Chariot series. So the Inner Sphere, still got a few to go through with that. Definitely some Marauder builds to play around with, and imagine there'll be at least one Black Knight and at least one or two Orion variants. So the Inner Spheres are still going to be staying in the heavies, but the clans, we're going to be going over to the assault mechs. Probably going to see what I can build out of the Gargoyle, everyone's favourite Groucho Marx mustache mech. So yeah, that'll be interesting. I was at a soft spot for the Gargoyle, mainly because everyone else hated it, so I had to feel like I had to have a reason to like the mech. Because it ain't the prettiest, and its prime configuration is certainly not very good. But it's fast, 80 ton speedy mech, you know, it's like the Charger. So yeah, this match was quite good. It was also, funnily enough, the same as the Echo. This was my first match in this mech as well, and it was a really fun fight. I think it highlights a lot of the potential damage capability of this mech. Although I thought at this point I was dead because I was out in a bad spot, and I think because this Direwolf had a AC to Ultra 20 or something like that. It was pretty nasty. But that's it. That's the kind of confidence that the Mad Cat can give you, because you know you can take the hit, you know you can do damage back in return. I mean, even a 100-tonner is a threat, but it's not that big a threat to a good old Mad Cat. So I got a lot of use out of the LRMs. I think the problem was that the early stage we were out of position. I remember that, but for some reason, I don't know why, their assault mechs stayed on the opposite side of that hill, and they never pushed to the middle. And what's weird is if they had, there was a point earlier on in the match where the team dropped into the valley section and kind of ran back round up to the central platform. And at that point, the team was actually in a pincer position, because if their assaults had crested the hill, we would have been slaughtered. But for whatever reason, lucky for my team, the Atlas and the Direwolf, and I can't remember what the other assaults were, just didn't bother. They just stayed there, and that's how we slowly picked them apart. It's not to say they didn't do damage in return, they certainly did, but yeah, they seemed a bit sedentary. They didn't want to move much. So yeah, it just turned out to be one of those lucky matches. I was trying to get the Mad Cat up the side of the hill here using the wiggle technique, but I managed to just get a lock and decided to change focus there and go for the other target instead. You see what I mean? That's with the LRM changes in the past, those LRMs would have gone up and then hit the bridge above him, but because of the rework, obviously they have a shallower flight path, which is rather nice. But yeah, we're wrapping this one up now. So I'll spoil it for you now. 3 kills. It's nearly just shy of 700 damage, which is pretty damn good. I know in the past, I think I saw that Jägermech video, it might have been most damage I've done for a long time or ever in a certain mech, but I think in the past, I think I've been close to 1,000 in the past, but it's extremely rare for me to get that close. So me hitting 700 or close to 700 is also quite rare for me. Although it seems to be changing. I don't know. Am I getting better, or is everyone else just getting worse? I don't know. Maybe because all players are leaving and I'm just one of the last people still around. I don't know. Anyway, you're still here. I don't know.
You need to wrap it up.
Right.
Plus, you only like this mech because you got your 3 kills and 700 damage.
True.
There's no other reason you like this one. Just wrap it up. You just.
What? Oh, all right, fine. I'll wrap it up. Bye.